It's me, Josh, here with Houston and Randy for 40 in Tennessee podcast. We're chilling. It's a chill day today.
The ASMR podcast.
Yeah. I hope you
Hey,
He's
enjoyed
dressed
it.
for it.
Yeah. Went to work in this. It was finally a nice day up here in Massachusetts. So it was like 85 or something like that. So it was like nice and sunny. It's been like raining like crazy, especially on like the weekends when you have it off. Yeah.
it's been pretty rainy down here lately too.
It's gonna get real lush down there.
Oh, it already is.
We got any reports? Any reports?
Nope, not today.
Ah,
Nothing.
dang it.
We did go out though.
You guys, yeah, you guys went out on.
Yeah,
Where'd you go? Where'd you go off to?
primary site.
Okay. What happened? Walk me through it.
Yeah.
Come on.
What's
Anything,
that?
anything happen?
Possibly. We're not sure.
Okay. Well,
We heard something. We heard something at distant. This sounded like woodwhacking a couple of times.
It could have been, but it was very faint.
Yeah. But we were we'd gone off trail onto one of the ridges where we got wood knocks from in the past.
yeah.
That's where we were wood knocking from.
No, not in the
Left some fruit, because since we worship them and all that.
Yeah. That's okay. That was a, yeah. Did we talked about that last week, right? Yeah.
We did.
I brought that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like worshiping Bigfoot. So you brought an offering to our deity.
Yep, apparently.
The Squatch. I say this in jest, people.
Brought them peaches.
They love them beaches. Was it nice out though when you went?
Oh yeah,
Good weather. Good weather.
yeah.
Any campers at the campground?
Yeah, what was
Oh.
it? It was a state, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a state kid camp.
Oh, okay.
There was trucks there with Rutherford County on the side of them. Agriculture. It's
Yeah,
probably
that's
some
what it
kind of
was.
school camp.
All right. So we had our wonderful guest Kelly Schaefer last week. We talked about a lot of ghosts, and we got into past life stuff that Randy was very adamant about. I've been thinking about it. So, Randy, you got linked up with uh, like a regression hypnotist.
Well, she's introduced me to somebody. I haven't talked to them yet.
Yeah, I know you haven't talked to him yet, but you're going in to do it right, do the session.
If it works out, yeah.
Yeah. You were really like interested in this, so I kind of want to ask you like why, like what has been like, because you have talked about this to me in the past.
I do want to add some of that conversation is what actually got cut last time, so they didn't hear
Oh
some
yeah,
of what Randy was talking about why he was so interested.
yeah,
Okay. So one of the things they talk about a lot in reincarnation and stuff, especially the Hindus do, is a death mark, birthmark.
mm,
And a death mark, birthmark is some sort of sign on your body of how you died in your last incarnation. And there's this birthmark on your new body that, is a reminder of this, right? And it's supposed to remind you of this whenever you get to a certain age or whatever. And there's also the reincarnation theories that maladies that you suffer from in this life, this current life, is because of karma or something horrible that happened to you in a past life that is carried over, right?
mm-hmm.
So the main reason that I got interested in this stuff was that I have a very distinctive birthmark on my body, it's on my forehead, and about 2015, they did a. I also have a seizure disorder. I didn't need to bring that up. That I've suffered since I was 21 years old.
Hmm.
Um, they never knew what caused my seizure disorder until 2015, and they did a MRI on my brain, and they found this tiny itty bitty little abnormality that is in my hippocampus region that they believe is causing all of this, malfunctioning.
Yeah.
And the creepy thing is that if you were to take a ruler or a pencil or something, and you took it and you inserted it into that birthmark right there, I don't know if you can see it,
Yeah. You can see it. Yeah.
and went
Well,
straight back into my brain at an angle, it would end up where that abnormality is. But the creepy thing is that that shot would have to be made with me on my knees.
oof.
So it gave me this. It's always given me this weird. I've always wondered of like, was I freaking executed in a past life? And I've got no bearing to believe that. I've had no dreams that I was necessarily that I was executed. Nothing like that, reoccurring, anything like that. It's just me putting like this piece and that piece and this
Yeah.
piece and that piece of all these different kind of theories that are all part of reincarnation, the mythos of reincarnationism, and it make kind of like making a weird little sense as it went.
Yeah.
So
Kelly said, this is probably your most peaceful life so far. Uh,
she said she got that vibe, yeah,
yeah. Which,
which kind of astounded me, to be honest, because I was like, I don't know,
like this one.
yeah,
I mean, we've had talks. You've said to me in like kind of side comments, you're like, I think I was born in the wrong like
oh yeah,
period of time.
yes,
You're like, I
I've always
should.
felt that,
Yeah. You're like, I feel like I should be running across the field with a battle axe over my head.
yeah.
So now, like with the like, you're gonna meet with somebody, possibly if this works out, and do a session.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about like different time periods you may have experienced?
I mean, again, like going by all these different theories in reincarnation.
Yeah.
There's one that's made me wonder if like was I was I maybe killed by my grandfather? Cause I know this sounds weird, right? But my grandfather was in World War II. He was a staff sergeant,
Yeah.
and there was two people that he killed. I know he killed in the war because he talked about it, but he never wanted to talk about how he killed them because he was ashamed of it. And he
Mm.
talked about how young they were. It bothered him about how young they were. He said that he was like quoted as basically saying like they were just boys,
Yeah.
that were forced into war, and that's made me wonder, right? Like I've got a freaking bullet hole birthmark in my forehead. Did my pop cap some freaking German soldier?
And you're the
And then
reincarnation.
karma's like, well, just go let that guy raise you now.
Oh yeah. Oh, that. Because I've been thinking about this now. And I was like, if I was like someplace else, like I'm not that again, I haven't had any dreams or anything like that.
Yeah,
It was like I think it was in another time period or anything. Uh, but I'm like, what did I experience? And I was like, I wonder if I lived during the plague. Like, did I die then? Um,
they claim that like where time periods that you have a natural interest in, right,
mhm.
are supposed to be time periods that you lived in. That's why you've got that natural allure to it.
So what would that be for you, Josh?
Pre-civilization is like
Oh wow.
my like is like my fascination is like the stuff that's when the Mayans were like, or the Incas were like, no, we found these walls here, you know, like who built that shit. That's what I like that stuff, all that hidden, you know, they don't know, we don't know. um,
You watch the comets sail in and destroy everything.
yeah, I am super interested in like that, like the younger Dryas impact and shit.
Yeah.
That stuff really does fascinate me. um, just because we don't know what, you know, went down. It's a lot of science theory and stuff, but it's just super interesting.
You were there, man. What if you
I
have
could
the
have been.
session and we find out we get the answers?
This could be, well. This is the other thing, because now they say the people that you're like are in your life, right? Those are the people that are like always
Yeah.
cycle in. Now I met Randy by chance. Like, if it
Yeah.
wasn't for a very like special circumstances, me and this man in Middle Tennessee would have never met. You know what I mean? Um, and like instantly we got along. So now I'm curious: is what was my play in your stories? Because I'm like,
Maybe we killed you, Randy.
like
Oh,
it
yeah.
was one of us. But I was thinking, I was like, maybe I should go do this if I could find someone up here and see if they fucking correlate with yours
That'd be
in
wild.
certain aspects.
Yeah.
You know, makes it. Catman pops up in everyone's.
And he's always referenced as a cat. Like he keeps the same name.
Just a cat everywhere.
He's like the court gesture in
Yeah.
one of the timelines.
I've thought about that. Was it like, what was I in those other timelines? Like, what did I look like? What was I? Because you know, because I doubt I look like myself. Probably looked.
I mean, man, you go about, the Hindu traditions, and it's like we've been females, we've been everything.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you switch it up. So, I mean, with that karma, I mean, like, isn't that also part of it? Like, you can come back as a cockroach.
you can, according to, like Hindu traditions, yeah.
Okay,
If you're, I guess, that big of a piece of crap,
that's bad. Going to the insect world.
yeah.
That's
Everything's just predatory, yeah.
everything is just heartless and fucking cool. Just eat, die, screw, like.
Houston, where would you come from if you had to some kind of,
Yeah. What's your
what do
interest,
you
buddy?
feel drawn to?
Sitting over there quiet in the corner.
Yeah, I'm just observing.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Um, the two that are at the top of my head is like one would probably be like Western times, but like Native American stuff. But that's where I think too. It's like, man, I watched so much of those movies growing up with my dad. That's like a core memory where it's like
Yeah.
almost attribute it to that.
I
And
mean,
then
it
the
could
other
be
one
part
would,
of it, though. Yeah.
yeah. The only other one would be like Edo, Japan. That would be cool.
You were a samurai.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
You
but
imagine
yeah,
Houston.
but those are recent. That I mean, all of that stuff you said too. It's like, yeah, I definitely have an interest in all of the pre-civilization stuff. But those are the two off the top of
See?
my head that
Intertwined.
do what?
We're intertwined, see?
Yeah, yeah.
You could have been there
We
right
all
next to me and being like, look,
we all
got some
held
comet.
hands as we watched the comet come down.
Houston was a skeptic then. He was like, it's not coming
Yeah.
here. He was like, oh man, I guess. We
Randy's
watched.
been Randy's been talking about this conspiracy comet coming for years. And I'm like, dude, shut up.
Finally, we're all believing him.
The sky doesn't fall.
Yeah, the past life stuff is interesting because I mean it goes back to that like whole, again, the CIA document where vessels and we get like recycled back to the absolute and sent out. Now, when I was a kid, I used to I had this weird like idea, I don't know, is the way I kind of viewed the world, was that like celebrities, like a famous musician or something like that, like Metallica, right? Let's take Metallica as an example, right? As a kid, seeing like a rock star or people perform and stuff, I was like, oh, they've done this a bunch before. That's why they're like when they got in here, they were able to like move on up. Like that was like my kid brain was that like they've kind of recycled through, respawned a few times, kind of knew how to play the game, and then like
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
got up like they've gained a bunch of experience in those other ones.
They've got
And
older souls. Yeah.
and I never really thought about that again. I always thought it was kind of a funny thought as like when I was like 7 or 8. Um,
My only argument to that is like a lot of those famous people are just such douchebags where it's like
Fair,
maybe
yeah.
this next life is the one that they're going to be an insect, but
Hey,
they,
maybe
I
they're
guess last
resetting it.
time.
Yeah, right. But I never thought about it until we had Kelly on last week. We were talking about this stuff. That got cut out of the episode because it stopped recording after an hour and 40 minutes. So there is a cap. We
I
found
think
it.
we just lost. Like it was probably less than 5 minutes.
Okay, good.
Maybe around there. It wasn't bad, but
Yeah.
I meant to relate the Stillsville thing with Isabel, my daughter.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so my youngest daughter, when she was about 2, started talking about that she used to, that she wasn't always her. That basically she came from Stillsville, and we would be like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "I came from Stillsville," and she did this for about 2 years until she was about 4, talking about Stillsville,
Hmm.
and it was random, always random, never like just her focused on Stillsville. It was just here
Every
and there.
every now and then she'd be like, "Oh, and this happened in Stillsville."
And then she said when she was 4 years old that there was a big fire in Stillsville and that she died in the fire. And we were just like you know,
Mm.
me and her mom both. Uh, I've tried to use Google to look up Stillsville like forever, and cannot find any reference to Stillsville except for like a Stiltville
Hmm.
that's like out in the friggin' ocean or something. Um, but I can't find a Stillsville. I found a Steelsville, but I couldn't find any evidence of it burning down. But I've wondered if she was referencing moonshine stills.
I was thinking this. I was about to ask. I was like, "Was it moonshine stills
Yeah,
or like alcohol stills on the
yeah,
mountain?" And
yeah,
then they
because they've
blew
not,
up.
yeah, and I thought about that too. If that's what she was referring to, is Stillsville
Yeah, it was it a nickname
burning
for it.
down. Yeah.
Huh.
did she ever comment on it? Anything else? Like if you ask her about it?
No, she doesn't remember any of it now. So
Start asking Indy some questions, Houston.
Yeah,
yeah,
She's
she's
like,
2,
"Huh?"
right?
2. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Just
I
casually
don't.
be like, "So Indy, who was mommy before mommy?"
Yeah, I don't know if I want to.
Open that can of worms.
Freak you out. She just starts naming shit off.
She's like,
Yeah,
"Actually, I was the mayor of."
it's like those memes where it's like your kid is talking to somebody like over and there's nothing there. Like that stuff does creep me
You
out.
see, I've seen some of those videos, man. They walk in
Oh
and
yeah.
something like they're talking to somebody, and they go into the room and like stuff flies around or something like that. You seen that
Yeah,
one?
I haven't seen that one, but
There's a guy. He's
ugh.
like recording his kid just in the hallway. His kid's like talking to somebody. He's like just kind of silent in the hallway, and he like kindly like he just like sneaks into the room, and as he like opens the door, the kid's like sitting cross-legged on the floor, and what you would think is he's talking to someone directly across from him. And when he go I'm assuming the parent goes in and turns the camera. They had cards or some type of cards, but there were cards floating, and the minute the camera turned, they like kind of just went like someone dropped them
Yeah.
on the ground. And then something else moved, and then it, like freaked out.
See,
It's
that's the
like,
kind of stuff I want to see.
how do you not see that stuff? I got a good algorithm, I guess.
Well, I'm talking about in real life though. Like I want to be there and see that happen. I want to be the guy walking in the door.
Do
Well,
you?
if it's somebody
This
else's
is the
kid, I don't
Bigfoot
want
question. Hey, this is that time. Are you walking? Are you going after it? Are you?
When
There's
we were out the other day, Houston goes, he's like, we hear a good wood knock. I'm going after it.
Fair. We
it's
gotta
too much
hype ourselves
trouble,
up.
man. You get all like suited up in snake boots and all this other stuff. It's like an event, begging Randy to go, and then we finally go, and I'm like, I'm not coming out here for nothing. If I hear something, man,
We gotta go after it.
you're on your own. But me seeing a Bigfoot and then walking in the room and seeing like your kid interact with something, that's a different creepy factor for me. Like that wouldn't do good things.
Yeah, I guess it's like two different ends of fucked up. I guess if you think about it, like you get something physical that will be in front of you if they don't portal to them. I don't know. I don't know. But and then like there's something invisible in that room with you.
Yeah.
That can
Yeah, that
definitely
stuff
talk.
freaks me out a lot more than Bigfoot does.
Yeah. Yeah, ghosts kind of freak me out a little bit more. I don't like that they can come home. Bigfoot stays out in the woods. He's not coming home with me. Though, okay. If you were in
How
a
about some of
Harry,
these people's claims?
hey, if you were in a Harry in the Hendersons situation, I know Randy would. We had a talk about his animals. Randy would definitely try to keep Sasquatch in the studio.
I bathe them in the bathtub in the basement.
Feeding them fucking marshmallows and peaches.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they would have a good life, honestly. That would be a good, thing to tempt them with.
I don't think I could afford feeding a Sasquatch.
Just imagine that thing sitting in the apartment with you, just like sitting in the chair.
I know how much I eat. That thing eats about 4 or 5 times what I eat. Good God.
um, yeah,
You're gonna ask something. I don't. You're getting to something.
I'm just thinking, like, I've thought about like if I hit one of these things, it knocked it out. Like, would I think I definitely would try to. I would call you guys immediately and be like, I got one.
I would hope so.
But like,
Are you saying you killed one? You killed one in a car?
I'm saying knocked it out. If I don't think I could kill it in a car.
Like you had a Marty McFly accident.
Yeah, I like hit it, and knocked it out. It's that moment on the side of the road. Just it's dark out, and you just see the fucking body in the lights of the car. You're like, what the fuck happened? And you're like, what the hell is that? Is that a deer? It's not. It's something bigger. It's Bigfoot. I want to know how in Harry and the Henderson he moved Harry onto the vehicle.
Right.
That's like the only. That's the
Yeah,
only
800
plot
pounds
hole. That's
dead
the
weight.
only plot hole in that fucking movie. What would you do, Randy, if that happened? You're driving, just hit.
Would you take it home? You didn't answer. Would you take it home?
Yeah, we try to.
Okay.
Trust me, when I was driving down to the con last year, me and Lauren were joking that if we hit one, it's getting put in the car, and I'm calling you guys, being like, I got the specialist guest of all time. Like, I'm not telling anyone. I'm bringing either he's knocked out and he's gonna wake up, and we're gonna be hundreds of miles away from where we found him.
I just like picture it like Tommy Boy when the deer come back to life. And it's like
Destroying your cars.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Just put his feet through the bottom and stop the vehicle like Fred Flintstone.
Right.
Yeah, I would try to, but there'd be no way. I couldn't move that body.
Yeah.
I think if I actually hit one and knocked one out, I would
I
I
took a
would
selfie
try
with
to
it.
cut off a big swath of hair for like evidence. Although realistically, I don't think that'd improve anything. Um,
You'd have to take a bunch of photos. You know, you'd have to.
Would you give it CPR?
CPR, is it
Ooh.
dead?
No, this is
I
if you
mean,
knock it out.
Dead. If it's
Knock it
dead,
out.
no, then I'm cutting off. I'm cutting off some pieces or something.
Cutting that off.
But like you could save it. That's it's like a mother.
What if you could
And if
save it?
if you was if you was
Yeah,
to
we're
give this
evolving the
thing mouth to
scenario.
mouth,
I love how it's just,
you could save this
actually,
thing
all
alive.
right, ready? You hit a Sasquatch. Then when you go investigate, you see it holding a baby Sasquatch in its arms. The mother's now dead. Do you take the baby? Do you
well,
raise
she's
it?
knocked out.
No, she's dead.
Oh, she's dead.
This is
Yes.
the scenario. She's dead.
Taking it.
You taking that baby and you're raising it as your
Totally.
own?
Yeah.
That's my movie. I found it. Little Harry.
I'll just tell everybody he's got that. Whatever that.
Like the dog boy.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that.
Has the facial hair and stuff.
Yep. Like takes back after his dad. I'm 6'4". He's
Yeah.
7'8".
He's 7'8" at the age of fucking 2.
I mean, at that point, yes, I would take that. But yeah,
I would too. Yeah, I mean, I think anyone who's a good person would take it too. But to be like, I don't know what's gonna happen here.
If she was knocked out, I would seriously think about taking it. I could get down the road before she wakes up.
I feel like it would be a Jurassic, like the Lost World, where they take the T-Rex baby. That thing, that mother Sasquatch would hunt you down.
Hunt you down.
You just look in the rearview mirror and she's just
Oh.
Randy's just crying.
You just put yourself into a horror movie.
That's not a bad idea for something.
That's a good movie. That's a good movie idea. What would we call it? Come on, good title. Let's get that brain working right now. What's a good title for that?
I was going to say 3 Men and a Baby, but
3 Men and a Squatch. Just redo 3 Men and a Baby, but what we just pitched there, which was they're on a night drinking, having fun, hit a
Bachelor party. Make it a bachelor
party for some
There
other
you
friend.
go. Yeah.
They take the baby. They wake up the next day, almost hangover. Like, what happened? They're watching the video of the fucking like dash cam and.
How did we get a Sasquatch baby?
Yeah.
they took off one of their shirts and tried to make a diaper for it, like overnight and stuff. Like,
Eventually,
there's
grows.
something there.
There's something there. Starts destroying. They're trying to keep it hidden. Bureau of Land Management's hunting them down now too. Trying to get a hold of the babies. It would make it like an ET situation. Gonna end up.
Yeah,
bringing it
at
back.
the end they have to like let it go back.
They give it back to like the Sasquatch family.
Yeah, and they're just sitting there bawling their eyes out.
That's it. Everyone kind of
Touching it.
shows up and sees the beauty and majesty that is Sasquatch, and they're all like, "Oh my God, we have to protect these things." Boom, credits. Not a dry eye.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
3 Men and a Squatch.
3 Men and a Squatch.
So to bring it back,
So we're bringing the wheel back around. We're gonna spin this train back.
if you
around.
can be if there's an option to be an insect, cockroach, or anything, does that mean there's a possibility that we was a Bigfoot in a previous life, and that's why we have so much interest?
That's fair.
I've never heard of anybody claiming to have been like reincarnated from a Sasquatch. That would be interesting.
Really into Bigfoot, I am. Was I just a little squatch back in the day?
Yeah. That's totally a book that somebody should go ahead and write. I mean, even though it's going to be bullshit.
My
It's
passion.
waiting for millions of readers.
I'd read it. I mean, I definitely would read it. It'd be a good one. What's that? So, what time period would you want to be as a Sasquatch?
That's a Sasquatch?
Yeah. If in
Probably
your
a
past life you were a Sasquatch, at what time period would you want it to be?
probably pre-European.
That's fair. That's fair.
Supposedly they were trading with native tribes and taking native women, and I shouldn't use that as a pro
Yeah.
taking
They
native
waged
women,
war with the natives too.
but
They fought. What was it? First Nation? It's up in Washington. They had a massive war with the. They call them the Forest People.
it was one of them. I think it was the Creek, not the Creek, Choctaw. I think it was. That said they had a war with them. Yeah,
Yeah, they ended up messing them up. Sent them packing.
and the what is it? The ones out in Nevada at the Lovelock Cave. I can't remember the name of that native tribe, but they got tired of being predated upon by them, supposedly, and went and built fires in their cave that they all slept in and killed them all.
Oof. Lovelock.
Yeah,
Ever since you told me about Lovelock in that story, I don't know. Have we ever talked about Lovelock? That
we've not really.
with the Lovelock frogs.
Oh, that's Loveland frog.
Loveland. Was
That's
it?
the Loveland frog.
Loveland frogs. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the
We
Loveland
where
frog.
we ran the 30th anniversary event
Yeah, it was right next to
was
it.
right on the river of the
Yeah.
Loveland frog. Yep.
Some weird stuff happened at that event too. There was some stuff that happened. Um, but that was when Randy told me the the encounter story of the Loveland frogs, which are like human size frogs that were like on the banks of the river that were seen have been seen by multiple people at different times. That's always messed me up.
That would
Yeah.
Was
be rough to see.
yeah, but like I when I heard about it I was like this like people would find those things. But then you think about even like Tennessee and like the places that no one ends up at and how big like the Tennessee River is, like some of these like river waterways and stuff. Like I know stuff is mysterious in the ocean, but like what's the rivers hiding too? Because there has to be, especially like underwater, like underground caves. I just think of Smeagol. I think of Gollum as these giant, hiding in the deep like caves and stuff.
Well, if you remember, when we went and interviewed, or we didn't interview, but we talked to the guy who
Oh,
runs the camp,
yeah. The
and
minute we got
he's
there,
talking about, he's like, yeah, the Native Americans have legends going back to hundreds of years, and they called them the Mud People.
yeah,
And we were like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, so the Mud People lived in this river here, and the same kind of described as the frog-like things that the Loveland frog was described as.
super weird, man. Big frogs. I'm glad that's not in our area.
Frogs can get pretty big anyway, though, can't they?
Yeah, but the way
Well,
these were
frogs are pretty
described
huge.
were like standing on their hind legs.
Yeah, these like 3 feet tall,
Yeah, like standing up, like humanoid.
and they were described as holding what looked like silver wands.
I'm looking up the biggest frog here.
It's probably some big ass frogs.
Have you guys seen the one that had its eyes inside of its mouth? Have you seen that picture?
Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
The
perfect effect. Yeah,
eyes are in the mouth.
yeah. So it's just sitting there with its mouth open, so you can see.
Ugh. Ugh.
You imagine swallowing something with your eyes.
Oh yeah, like it's shooting its tongue out and the fucking thing's coming right back at you. And then you're gonna watch yourself like chew it up. Oh,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
See, I don't know if that thing's real, but there's a kid holding one, and like it's like that big. I mean, he's got it stretched out, but again,
Probably
I know that's not
probably
what
an
y'all are
African
talking about.
bullfrog.
But a what now?
And probably an African bullfrog. They get huge.
Yeah, no, they
Yeah.
got, like big meaty guys.
They've got barbed, like almost like teeth in their bottom jaw.
What do they eat? Massive like
They eat mice.
Mice.
Keep in captivity.
Mm. It's like the Pac-Man frog.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen? There was a News Nation. News Nation put it out.
Oh, UAPs.
The UAP, but it was with George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell.
Mm-hmm.
That's who they talked to, and it was just coming down about like disclosure again, and like how it is feeling like it's just inching there. But I feel like it's just gonna be like, and it's our tech guys. I feel like that's what they're gonna say. It's like it's all us.
I ain't gonna believe that shit if they say that. It's been going on for too long for it to be our tech.
Well, that's the other side of it is like, you know, I was thinking about it and being like, yeah, you know, probably a lot of what we're seeing is our stuff, but like, where did it come from? Because like, there was reports of this stuff before we were flying as a species.
Yeah, like I mean, the Aurora. You've heard of the Aurora crash in Texas that happened in the late 1800s?
I think
where
so.
a UFO was witnessed hitting a windmill and then crashing into the ground.
Dummy.
And they found this little man that was 3 feet tall, they said, and he died soon thereafter, and they buried him in a cemetery. And to my knowledge, there's still a gravestone there for this little alien dude that supposedly died in the Aurora crash, but like that was in the 1890s, I think it was. They called it an airship. They crashed in an airship.
That's wild. And then there's like newspaper about that. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So that's where it gets like this whole UAP thing just gets weirder and weirder because like it's been going on too long.
Yeah.
Like I get it, like yeah, probably some of this stuff is definitely ours, but like some of this stuff is that's like coming out.
Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters is the name that they gave to UFOs in World War II.
Yeah.
That were buzzing the air, our fighter jets, our fighter planes and stuff.
I thought they were like orbs that were following them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they were UFOs still.
Yeah.
Well, like everyone in the air was reporting it.
Yeah.
So all the pilots from all sides were.
Germans were, USA was, everybody. Yeah. Everybody thought it was the other person's tech at the time.
Yep.
So who the hell, if it's all ours, who the hell was doing that?
Oof. That's crazy.
I'm granted, I do think that there are some UAP things. Some UAP stuff can be explained with being our tech, like the big black triangles. I think is ours.
Definitely ours. It has to be. It was like back in 2017. I forget which. I think it was Lockheed. Like did the showcase of like the next family of jet fighters. And dude, it looks like a goddamn like what they've been like those triangles they were like people are seeing and stuff. Like they opened up the hangar. If you go look at it, it's like on their website. I forget. It may not be Lockheed. It was somebody, maybe Boeing or something like that. But it was the new jet fighters for us, and they were doing like kind of the showcase, and they all looked like it looked like this thin thing, and then like the little bump for the cockpit, and then like as they rolled it out, it was like a fucking triangle. I was like, holy crap! But that was like back in 2017.
Yeah.
We definitely like reverse engineered some shit.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
We had to. But like, where did it come from? So like,
well, if you go by that book by Lieutenant Philip Corso, The Day After Roswell, he talked about that. I don't remember what. I know it was the Army. I'm not sure what position it was he held, but he basically claims in the book that he helped the military use the technology that they found in the Roswell crash and adapt it to military and consumer, the world, the military and consumer worlds. And that's where we got, silicon chips and we got
fiber optics,
Ethernet cable and shit like that. And if you look at like the time frame of when all that stuff happened from 1947 on, that is when technology just starts accelerating like to this really weird degree.
I guess I'm glad I crashed here, right? But what happened to the airship from the 1800s?
That's a good question.
That's
I don't remember them ever talking about what happened to that. Yeah.
like that's what I want to know. What happened to that thing? Because you know somebody definitely like found some stuff in it. You know, like some old like settlers out. You know, just like colonial. I forget what
Old
time.
farmers in
Old
Texas.
farmers,
Yeah.
yeah, and just like poking around with a pitchfork in this like spaceship, finding like a ray gun, disintegrating a cow.
There was a movie. They made a movie back in the '80s about it called The Aurora Encounter.
Oh,
So
I'll have to look that one up. I'll have to look
it was
that one
played by there was a little dude who had the alien in the movie. I remember this was this little bitty. You know that disease that kids get like where they age
Yeah, the
fast.
Benjamin Button disease.
Yeah, they age like super fast.
Yeah.
That kid, the alien in the movie was a kid that had that.
Oh, okay.
So
It was the 80s.
yeah,
Um, oh, what was I gonna say? There was a movie, and I don't know if it was made straight for TV, but it was like, I think it was like a mini series that they did, and this was back in like the 90s. We were watching it as a kid, but it was the Roswell incident, and they kind of go through the whole thing. But it does get to like at the final part, like they have one alive, and I distinctly remember this scene is they go into like a bunker in a mountain, and like they're like, oh, the pilot's in here, and they go in and like they have like a gray alien is sitting in like a hospital gurney, and there's like a nurse next to him like taking notes, and like the alien's like has like a blue aura kind of glowing around it, and then the guy's like, he's like, how do we talk to it? And he's like, you just think, it'll talk to you, and like it does like the whole thing, and I was not expecting it for like the movie I was watching. I don't know if you guys remember that from the 90s.
I think it was called Roswell. I think what you're referring to,
Yeah, I forget who made it, but it was like,
or the Roswell. I think Roswell something.
yeah, but it was like a made. I'm pretty sure it was like a made for TV
I
like
think it was like for
movie
Sci-Fi
series.
Channel, maybe.
I think so too. Yeah, I think it was Sci-Fi Channel. It was well done, I thought.
Yeah,
From when I was a
yeah,
kid, from what I remember.
yeah. The alien was telling people that like in the coming years there were going to be travelers from neighboring dimensions that were going to be coming here, and
Yeah, that was the
all
other
this.
thing. Talking about like interdimensional stuff.
Yeah, that was way before that was ever a topic in the UAP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know what that screenwriter who he was talking to.
You know, Chris Carter, who did the X-Files, Chris Carter has claimed that he knows there were several times when he was actually approached by G-men, so to speak, about subjects that they wanted in the X-Files episodes. So
What? What? Wait, like he was made to write some stuff. Like
nothing that he was made to, just that he was kind of approached and been like,
suggested.
"Oh yeah, we heard about this."
You should.
Wink, wink, wink. Blah blah blah. Wink, wink, wink.
Hmm.
Kind of like push him towards like, "Yep, you want to put this in the episode, don't you?"
I never thought about that. Yeah, with the X Files, because some of the stuff they went into about, I want to know how much like they were being watched as a production about like what was being written and put out there.
Yeah.
Wow.
They got heavy into the UFO mythology.
Oh, I mean the UFO mythology is like the main story of that whole like the X Files series because of Mulder's sister and stuff. They do a good job of keeping it super mysterious the whole time.
There's nothing really coming out that like filled that space that X-Files left, is there?
There was a while later there was the show Fringe that came out that was very like kind of close. It was good, but it just didn't hit the mark the same way that X-Files did.
Yeah.
I like that it was like FBI and they were they were investigating this stuff.
Oh, I love the X-Files episodes that were like Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those. Like the Fluke Man.
The Fluke Man.
Love that episode.
There's one they go out into the woods, the lumberjacks, a bunch of lumberjacks like are found in like cocoons. So they go out there and they find out there's these like they cut into these trees that had this like prehistoric bug, and
I remember this.
then like they have to stay in the light until like dawn,
Yeah.
or like before like help will come or something like that. That was a great episode.
That was all before my time, but I remember going to the theater and seeing the movie there, but I can't even tell you what that was about now.
Oh yeah, and the X-Files movie was about they had aliens, and they start that movie in the Ice Age.
Yeah.
With like a Neanderthal, and they come upon an alien in an ice cave.
Yeah. Yeah. The movie was about the alien virus and how like it was infected humans and.
Yeah. I didn't really understand that too much because I was like, "What the fuck is the point?"
Yeah, I didn't either.
Was there something in there that like was it bees or insects or something? I just remember like him putting his coat over and running, but I don't remember.
Yeah, they end up in that building and they're like, "Where the fuck are we?" And all the vents shoot open and all the honeybees come shooting out.
Yeah, the honeybees were infected with the virus, the alien virus or something.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up again.
X-Files got convoluted as hell.
Yeah, they did some
like.
And Scully, even after having face to face with an alien, she'd be like, "I don't know what it was."
Yeah.
She's like, "I don't know what happened, Mulder."
You're definitely the Scully of the team, Houston.
Okay.
Got a couple of Mulders over here. Look, we gotta read the tabloids. I feel like I'm a little more of the Men in Black there.
You know, Men in Black was actually started by a Tennessean guy from Knoxville.
Really?
Yep. The original comic, the indie comic.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yep.
So, yeah, there hasn't been. Usually, whenever there's like UFO like news or anything like that, usually like there's suddenly a resurgence of the UFO documentary guys. Suddenly start posting like, "We're making an emergency drop. We gotta emergency drop this documentary. We gotta get the word out." Have you noticed that about like these documentaries? They try to be like make it sound like a big budget like blockbuster movie. It's like boom, the UFOs came, boom, the alien agenda, boom. Whoa.
It's not just UFOs, man. There's people in the Bigfoot world the same way.
Yeah, they do the same. Yeah, some of
dark woods.
Yeah.
This summer.
My favorite Bigfoot documentary is was it a glimpse of beauty?
Yeah.
It's a great one. I think that one's great. It's like really chill. It's such a chill documentary, and it's just people talking about like that moment they saw Bigfoot, and like how kind of like it was scary, but like it's a magical moment, to see that. Yeah, it's a different type of Bigfoot documentary, and I thought that was one of my favorite ones.
You need to do one, Josh. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I bet I need to do one. It's I think the hard part about doing it, especially if it's on us, is do you really want to turn the camera around on us and then have to look at like, oh, we look fucking nuts. The amount of times me and Randy have talked about it, and you guys have probably talked about it when you're out in the woods, and we're just like, no one's gonna fucking believe this. Like, no one's gonna fucking believe us.
Hey, Randy was in one already.
Randy's been in a couple, haven't you? Isn't there another one you did?
One. Oh, one on Hulu.
Just the Hulu one?
Yeah.
Those guys should come out. The guys who shot that should come out to the convention sometime.
They talked about wanting to come last year, but they didn't.
Yeah. That'd been great.
So, okay, I solved it. Why don't we just do a cartoon Josh? That way you won't ever have to be, so you'll get your own little animated.
I'm just in there, and it's just me as an animated.
We use AI to animate you now.
We just like rotoscope over me, like.
Oh God, like a Scanner Darkly, like that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
I was proud of that one the other day that was Randy as a guru
Oh, that was
because
good.
I
That was,
didn't even I didn't even tell him to put that red dot. It just
it was
worked out
perfect.
perfect that that's what we were talking about. But because when you sent that website of where Kelly told you to go for the hypnotist, like
Yeah.
they were very much like in all of the yoga and all that stuff. So that's where I kind of took that.
I had a long time ago. I had an Indian person ask me where I got my birthmark,
Hmm.
and I like because they were like, "That's in the blah," or whatever the hell, where you put the fucking little dot on your head
Hmm.
Yeah.
in their religion, which I don't even know what the dot on the head. What does that mean exactly?
Does it mean like
I don't.
marriage is part of the marriage or something like that?
I
I'm
thought it was
probably
like for the
butchering
third
it.
eye or
That's
something.
what I was going to say. I thought it was third eye too, but I don't know.
What's the significance of that? Do you know?
I don't know. We'd have to look that up. We'd have
Open
to,
to spirituality, I think.
yeah, maybe
Yeah, I don't
enlightenment.
know. Do what?
Enlightenment. No, it's like you got mine.
Well, real quick, I mean, you told us about your Nazi past life, but you didn't tell us about any others or anything that you would
It's
think.
like Nazi
Nazi.
with Nazi.
Well, when you talked about, you're like it would line up. I probably got executed, right? I thought my first image was you as a bandit in the Wild West, like a cattle rustler, like you on a
According to
horse.
Kelly, all my lives have been rough. So I mean,
So, what other time periods are you interested in?
the most recent one would probably be World War II. But then I
I think that
like
just
you
comes with
said,
age, though.
I think that's because I was raised by who I was raised by.
Yeah.
So
So, just that and Barbarian.
well, I mean, looks like a freaking bullet hole. It don't look like a.
What if we go back to the absolute? We go back to the source. I wonder if that's when they were like, "You want to see what you did before? Do you want
Oh God, see, I've been looking into that.
to?"
Like, we need to do a whole show on Edward Casey. Have you ever done it like research on Edward Casey?
Is he the one? Which
He's the
one?
sleeping prophet.
Oh, okay. I think I've heard of him. I'm not too sure. I
He's made several thousand trance like recordings of like people's lives and all. He would go into this trance
hmm
and talk about their lives or past lives, all this kind of weird shit. But the weird thing about him was like he was a hardcore Christian and very much a man of faith. And he explained like through these readings why he was able to do what he did and all this kind of stuff. It's weird. But what was the point I was making? Oh, he was bringing up like after you die, like what happens, right?
hmm
And he talks about that you go before this mirror of souls, and this mirror of souls isn't like God judging you. It's you. It's all of
Uh,
you judging how you did this last time, like you're this, during the life,
hmm
and that you're forced to feel and experience all of the things you did to everyone else.
Oh, damn.
And it's a way of self-reflection so you understand before you go back to the source, like what you've done.
Mm.
Uh, and then you go back to the source, and then you decide to reincarnate. Um,
That's what happens when you open the Ark of the Covenant and your face melts off. So,
Yeah, that's where you go. I want to know if they have to have a warehouse like that of just goodies, like just weird shit. When I saw that
mm,
in Indiana Jones, man, I was just like, they definitely would just,
that would.
the government would just have like, it would just store it away, and it's just all this weird shit together.
No, dude, it's the Vatican.
Dude, the
oh yeah, the
Vatican,
Vatican
the
does it.
Vatican has to have such fucking crazy stuff, man. They have to have some of the like, I know like the Library of Alexandria like burnt down. I bet you the Vatican still has like manuscripts from some stuff. Like they have to. I want to know what they got, man.
If anybody does, they probably would. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I want to know what's down there, man.
What year did that library burn down, though?
Library of Alexandria.
Yeah.
Hmm. Someone's listening and screaming at us. It was this time. Yeah, and who did it? What? Why are you laughing?
I was waiting.
Yeah.
um,
I feel like I should know this.
48 BC, it says.
48. Double
Hmm.
digits. That was.
So pre Catholic, whatever, Catholicism.
Yep. Hmm. 48 BC.
Isn't there? What am I thinking of? It's in one of the Asian countries. I don't think it's Thailand though, but I don't know. It's like one of those that they have monks over there, but there's a bunch of books that they have like only translated maybe 10% of them.
Oh,
I'd have to
I didn't
I'd
know
have to
that.
find out what that is. That's gonna bother me now.
What's in this writing?
Oh, I was laughing because someone sent me a message trolling me about the new Predator movie. So
Do I know this individual that's trolling you?
it's kind of plays Vasmandar.
Oh,
Matt,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you've met him. He knows I'm a big Predator nut, so he just saw the
Was
new
it,
movie and was giving me shit about it.
is it Tibet?
Tibetan monks? Isn't the Tibetan monks? Isn't that? Don't they have one that they're like, he's mummified, but like the monks are like, no, he's still alive.
Yeah.
Oh, that one guy that's self mummified.
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah,
no,
I heard about him.
he's still alive. Is what
Yeah,
they say. That would
I
be
read that
crazy.
they like part of that process was them drinking like pure tannin so that it
Oh
would
yeah,
help mummify your body.
yeah, from the inside out.
Yeah.
84,000 scrolls.
Yeah, just in 2003, an enormous library with 84,000 scrolls was discovered hidden behind a wall in something monastery in Tibet. It's
They,
believed that they have been preserved in their original state for hundreds of years, contain Buddhist scriptures in addition to works of literature, history, astronomy, and mathematics.
huh? That's super cool.
That is
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, now they gotta translate all that.
Yeah.
You imagine they were just like, what the? Seems like there's an extra room here. I can,
Oh, right. Nobody looked at the blueprints here.
yeah, like this wall seem weird. Then opening that up and finding that, be like, oh, holy crap! Dang.
How did we forget about this?
Yeah.
Dude, that's like the cave that's in, what is it, Vietnam that we found not that long ago in the last 20 years. It's literally one of the biggest cave openings in the world. We just found it.
Oh yeah.
Things
Has
like,
its
you
like
see
own
this huge
ecosystem.
picture and like, yeah, you see this little bitty person at the bottom where you can, goodness, I don't,
Yeah, it's
I
got
don't,
like a rainforest and clouds and everything.
Yeah, it's its own ecosystem.
Biosphere.
Yeah.
We've got that at Buggy Top. Did we ever take you to Buggy Top while you were here?
No.
yeah,
Did I
you're
run a
welcome.
pad out there with you?
No. Actually, I think so.
It's a
You would
big giant
remember.
cave with a river coming out of it.
No. No.
I don't know if you went on the. Yeah,
No,
I did.
that's
I
a
did a
different
couple
one.
pads there over the years. But Buggy Top is 18 and a half acres that just of a sinkhole that just collapsed. And there are things that live down there in Buggy Top that are supposedly remnants of the last glacial period that have survived down there, plants
Oh,
that are
nice.
nowhere else in Tennessee.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Supposedly dinosaur prints.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Potential dinosaur trackway down there, yeah.
Call Catman. Sending them in.
That is probably one of the most strenuous hikes, though. We go on. I went once or twice, and I was like, I'm done.
I mean, a lot of those hikes out there in Tennessee are pretty rough.
Yeah, it's up over a mountain both ways. You're having to go up over a mountain, down into a valley, and then come back up out of that valley, back over the mountain.
Is that one of the worst you've went on though, Randy?
It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
It's a long trek. It's a long 2 mountains. Fuck.
Yeah, it's like 2 miles there, 2 miles back. So you're doing like 4 miles over the mountain.
Damn. Yeah, that's a long hike.
It's gorgeous once you get down there, but it's the largest cave opening in the eastern United States, and it's got a river flowing out of it, and the river goes through the cave for like 6.5 miles.
Jeez. I just want to know what's back there. You know, there's something weird back there.
Right.
There's always something weird in the caves. Giant salamander, you know.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys say? Wrap it up. Any closing words for the night? Houston?
The Tennessee Wildman and Crypticon is in what, 6 weeks? A little over 6 weeks?
Yeah, a little over 6 weeks.
2 months. A little over 2 months.
August 16th.
Yep.
The McMinnville Rec Center?
McMinnville Milner Recreation Center, yeah.
Milner Recreation Center. Tickets are up on sale on the on Eventbrite. If you're listening to this week, I think Randy, you started releasing Where's Archie?
Yep.
If you can figure out where he is, our little mascot for the convention, you can possibly win some free passes to the convention. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, guys, good show. It was always fun talking to you guys about weird stuff, as always. Next week, John Teeter.
All right, I got some
I have to go read the
research.
Yeah, I'm doing research. I want to get some John Teeter, like the whole episode. We need to. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, okay.
So
I'm down.
Get your outfits ready.
I'm just going to do some, updating.
We're going back in time, guys. Back to the future. So
Back to 2000.
Wear your time traveler outfit for the episode. So, we'll catch you guys next week.